This episode of Tech News Day is sponsored by Stitch Fix and by ExpressVPN.
We got a lot of tech news to cover this week, but let's start with something that's fun and weird and also just ridiculous.
Cool.
Over the past couple of years, watching this show, there's been a kind of a crazy amount of news basically confirming that the sky is in fact full of unidentified flying objects. They're just everywhere, and the military sees them all the damn time.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool if you're a believer in aliens or at least intrigued by the idea, but it's important to remember that the existence of unidentified aerial phenomena does not necessarily mean the existence of space aliens. But on the other hand, if you ask the former head of the Israeli space security program, aliens not only totally exist, but there's a whole Galactic Federation of them, and they've been in secret contact with Earth for years.
87-year-old Haim Eshed, who previously ran Israel's space security program for around 30 years, recently did an interview with an Israeli newspaper in which he made some pretty wild claims. So let's just run through them. Aliens exist. There's a Galactic Federation of aliens. The US and Israel have been in contact with this Galactic Federation for years. There's a secret underground base on Mars staffed by aliens and Americans. The aliens and the United States have a research agreement together that includes letting the aliens do experiments on Earth. Oh, and yes, Donald Trump is aware of the aliens and at one point was actually about to spill the beans on the whole thing before the Galactic Federation stepped in and stopped him on the grounds that it would cause mass hysteria. So at least Donald Trump listened to the Galactic Federation.
Yeah.
He might not listen to his advisors or anyone else, but it actually kind of makes me kind of worried about what the Galactic Federation has on their hands.
Yeah.
Because if Donald Trump shuts up for them, there's gotta be something.
What compromat does the Galactic Federation have?
We have filmed every second of your life. And we will leak it whenever we want.
So yeah, these are some pretty wild claims. Big if true. As for why the aliens stopped Trump from telling everyone about them, Eshed says, quote, "They have been waiting for humanity to evolve and reach a stage where we will generally understand what space and spaceships are." So basically, I think what he's saying is we're just not ready for that.
Yeah, which is like every sci-fi movie.
Aliens are real, but y'all ain't ready for that.
Exactly. The conspiracy goes back multiple decades of us not being ready.
Yeah, which, okay, fine. But it is then kind of odd that this old man has apparently decided that he knows better than the Galactic Federation and is willing to just betray their trust like that.
Is he on his deathbed or what's going on here?
No, he wrote a book.
Oh, okay. He needs to get pressed for it.
Yeah, his only explanation for revealing all of this is, quote, "If I had come up with what I'm saying today 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized. Today, they're already talking differently. I have nothing to lose. I've received my degrees and awards. I'm respected in universities abroad, where the trend is also changing." So
I like that. Basically, it also boils down to, I don't care if no one believes me or they think I'm a kook. I've already got everything. My life's fine.
I don't care if I'm pissing off the Galactic Federation and making everyone think I'm a fucking lunatic. I'm doing it.
I'm on vacation. Yeah. I'm retired.
I'm retired. Don't ask me to do a damn thing.
We should have bought that shirt when we saw it.
Yeah.
But also, Haim Eshed, he published a book last month called The Universe Beyond the Horizon. And this interview was in promotion of that book. So, look, you know it exists now.
Yeah.
It's great marketing.
If you would you like to learn more?
He certainly does have a long and respectable resume of doing space stuff, but he also hasn't had that job since 2011. So it's weird that he'd be so up to date on whether the current president of the United States almost told everyone about the aliens, unless he's still in contact with them because they're friends.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm still friends with people from Machinima.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you head down to Barney's Beanery when it's not in a pandemic.
Listen, Googaloo, I'm retiring, but here's my personal phone number.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want to remain friends? It happens all the time, and I think it's actually more believable than anything else. He probably goes to the bar with them.
Yeah, drink that blue milk.
Also, the idea that Trump wouldn't have accidentally revealed this at one of his rallies where he just rambles for 90 minutes straight, or even alluded to it at some point, that's pretty hard to believe. Something would have slipped.
Yeah,
but maybe it's why he started the Space Force.
Yeah, that's a lot of the articles have been like, oh, well, he did start the Space Force. It's like, I mean, okay.
Elliot, he did start the Space Force.
He did start the Space Force. What does he know? More than us.
He would have said something, though.
He would have at least brought up just the idea of aliens at some point. I don't believe he's ever even mentioned anything even close to that.
There's still time.
Yeah.
On his flight down to Florida on January 20th or whatever, by the way, it's true. All of it.
Yeah, I mean, he does have that, supposedly have that plan to try to beat the inauguration in the ratings by having his own, post-inauguration rally.
What better way?
Yeah, it would, if he reveals the Galactic Federation at that, you're going to see the Nielsen ratings. Everyone's going to be flipping the channel over the Trump rally instead of the lame, sad Joe Biden.
We got aliens at our rally.
Look at the crowd in the National Mall. Everyone's 6 feet apart. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. They made fun of my inauguration. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Just a bunch of dots.
I am now convinced after these articles that the aliens, they are here. They do have a Galactic Federation, and they are the ones who have invented Twitter, so they can cancel anyone they want whenever they want to.
Yeah, that is...
That's the thing, is like these aliens, they got dirt on everyone, and they're like, as soon as you fuck up, boom, canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone that's been canceled so far, they probably did the shit that they did. It's just that like these aliens, they start a Twitter account.
They got a compromat on everyone.
Yeah, Googaloo 7682 553.
Yeah.
Boom.
They got all their young people working at the Alien Research Agency.
Mm-hmm. The IRA.
On Pluto.
ARA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, whatever.
So that's, I don't know what to do with any of that, but it's cool, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just like, after seeing, we talked about this previously, but like, after seeing people like Michael Flynn go from having prestigious military careers to just being like complete fucking crazy people, like it is easier to accept that maybe this old man actually is just completely fucking insane and making it all up.
That is almost more than likely the case, I would have to say.
The Occam's razor would say that he's either grifting or has lost his mind, but hey, he might be telling the truth. And wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be fun, wouldn't it? But why aren't the aliens helping us? It's just like when people are like, why didn't Chris Angel stop 9/11? It's the same. It's the same thing with the aliens and the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So whatever. David Copperfield, he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. He could have hidden the Twin Towers.
Yeah, couldn't make Flight 93 disappear.
No, he just makes the towers disappear as they're trying to fly into it. Yeah, just straight through. What the hell? They're supposed to be a building.
Turn around.
Anyways, that's enough ammo for the aliens to cancel us.
Yeah. So anyway, enough alien news. Let's move on now, because we may not know whether or not the United States government is actively collaborating with the Galactic Federation, but we do know that this week, the U.S. government officially sued Facebook at both the federal and state level.
Yeah.
It looks like the past several years of just constant congressional hearings on big tech weren't as pointless as they seemed at the time. Both the Federal Trade Commission and 48 state and territory attorney generals have decided they've seen enough and Facebook needs to be broken up for being anti-competitive.
Right on time. Like 7 years after they acquire WhatsApp and Instagram. After the government said, go ahead.
Yeah.
Please. You've made billions of dollars and paid next to nothing in taxes.
Yeah.
I think it's time to break this up.
Yeah, and by break up, we mean the lawsuits both seek to basically undo two of Facebook's biggest acquisitions, which were Instagram and WhatsApp.
Yeah, especially now after they're finally fully integrated with Facebook.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now, this is pretty unusual and kind of unprecedented, considering the same U.S. government currently suing Facebook to make them give up Instagram and WhatsApp are also the ones who approved those deals back in 2012 and 2014.
Take backsies.
And that's basically Facebook's big defense. You said we could have them, and now you're demanding a do-over? Why? But the government's argument is essentially that Facebook has gotten as big as it has by buying up any company that poses a threat to its dominance, or by threatening to revoke other companies' access to the Facebook API if they tried to develop functionalities that compete with Facebook or promoted other social networking services. Get Oculus out of there. We all want the Quest, but we don't want to have to sign into Facebook
to get it. A lot of baggage.
An example of that latter accusation in the FTC's press release is how Twitter launched Vine in 2013, and Facebook quickly shut down the API that would have allowed Vine to access friends via Facebook. Also, you used to be able to post Instagram photos on Twitter, and they would show up as photos, and now you can't do that. They're just links.
Yeah, they don't play nice with other people.
No.
And it is interesting. It's like, I think Facebook probably would have either tried to kill or buy up Twitter back in the day, but
thank God they didn't.
But also, like, if you look at Twitter like 8 years ago, it was unrecognizable. Just a barely functional website.
I love my trash website. Like, Twitter.com is just, it's like the scrappy little lad.
Twitter's like way more legit now. It's like where you go to see what like the president's thoughts are. But like 8 years ago, Twitter was just like...
Oh, are you saying Trump legitimized Twitter, Elliot?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is funny seeing like Twitter managed to like become its own thing. Managed to avoid the Mark Zuckerberg's the prongs of death.
Yeah.
By basically just starting off as garbage and just very, very slowly turning into a legitimate website.
It's because you didn't have to follow your parents on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point of both lawsuits is essentially no one man should have all that power.
Kanye West is a genius.
And yeah, it's got strong bipartisan support.
We all hate Facebook.
Hating Facebook is one of the very few things that Democrat and Republican lawmakers can agree on at all these days, even if their specific reasons for doing so are wildly different and contradictory in a lot of ways. Yeah. Similarly, back in October, the Justice Department sued Google on antitrust grounds. The demands in that lawsuit seem to be a lot less severe than this Facebook lawsuit, but in both cases, pretty big deal. It'll probably take years for anything to be resolved, but it's nice to see things start to happen. Oh, and also, just, you know, as a little treat at the end, here's Mark Zuckerberg surfing again. Remember that time where he was surfing with that kabuki sunscreen face and that dump truck ass? Those are both gone this time, but he's still surfing and still looking extremely lame. He's got a helmet this time.
Wow.
A big orange helmet.
His insurance company was probably like, "Hey, put this on."
It's a hydrofoil surfboard, so he's in the air.
Hey, look.
How do those work?
Good for him. Maybe he should just, divest himself completely from Facebook and just surf hydrofoils.
Well, the problem with that is that would mean him devoting even more time to just ruining the state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Where he is... you can look into it, but he's basically he's just buying up a ton of land in Hawaii, driving like housing prices through the roof.
Yeah, it's a real dick move to be like
displacing native people in like the one state left in the country that still has like a native population with some degree of like power and influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a definite dick move to like go somewhere and be like, "This is nice. I think I'll take all of it."
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, the U.S. government fighting against Facebook and Google, pretty cool. Here's something, though, that is extremely uncool and scary.
Yes.
Republican Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina is trying to make unauthorized streaming of copyrighted material a felony. In other words, using copyrighted music on YouTube or showing copyrighted video clips on Twitch could get you thrown in prison.
Yes.
The DMCA, the claim system that's currently in place for those, is obviously fucking terrible. It's a mess. But this would obviously make things... so much worse.
Yeah, imagine how hard it is to fight right now for anything. Like the fact that we can't at all, like we take a risk when we show like a clip of the sexy Colonel Sanders movie. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is promotional marketing material that is readily available to use to promote your movie. And it's like, oh, we're going to strike your channel because of
you
this.
Get an email, you lose all your money. I was like, shit. But this would be like, you get a knock on your door from the FBI.
Yeah, sorry, you're coming to federal prison.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. And it's all like, and then you'd have to be like, well, it was fair use because, like, here's a bazillion reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not good enough because your lawyer isn't very good.
Yeah.
Like, anything like that. And while this sounds like the kind of thing that would never successfully make it through Congress, it's actually part of the current spending bill, which is a huge omnibus bill that a bunch of other shit is attached to, including potentially another coronavirus stimulus. It's basically the bill that Congress is cramming through at the last minute at the end of the year, and it's a popular way to get otherwise controversial bills that would never pass on their own into law. This spending bill needs to be passed quickly in the next few weeks to avoid a government shutdown. So a little footnote about throwing Twitch streamers in prison for playing Spotify while they game, it could manage to sneak on through if not enough other people in Congress stop it. And showing clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah, like APL Fisher's YouTube game. He's going away for a long time.
Hassan Piker. Jail.
Yeah.
Also, Cyberpunk, it was found out yesterday that streaming Cyberpunk, there's like a streamer that you can turn off all the music and everything like that.
Yeah, but
there's still copyrighted songs and sounds in the game. Like, well, I guess you're going to jail.
You broke the law. Cuff them.
What are you in for? I accidentally played a gunshot sound in a video game that was copyrighted 80 years ago or some shit. Like, it's ridiculous.
I played the Wilhelm scream.
We're going to be hanging out with our old boss in jail. Fucking, hey, what are you in for? I, sent my kid to college nefariously.
Yeah.
Hey, I recommend you, or I recognize you guys. You're the boys from Machinima. What'd you do? Play a trailer? Yes.
We played a lot of trailers.
They're going away for a long time.
So, yeah, pretty fucking nuts. What's this Thom Tillis guy's problem? Why is he trying to do this?
Yeah.
Well, follow the money, folks. I mean, he's the chairman of the Senate Intellectual Property Subcommittee, and according to the American Prospect, who broke this story, quote, in the third and fourth quarters of 2020, Tillis' campaign and leadership PAC received donations from PACs affiliated with the Motion Picture Association, Sony Pictures, ASCAP, Universal Music Group, Comcast, and NBC Universal, the Internet and Television Association, Salem Media Group, Warner Music, and others in the entertainment and cable industry that seek to suppress the unauthorized sharing of content. Many other entertainment industry PACs gave Tillis contributions earlier in the 2019-20 cycle, totaling well over $100,000 according to Federal Election Commission records. Executives of Fox Corporation, Sony Entertainment, Charter Communications, and CBS also made large donations to Tillis in the third quarter of this year.
I'm not trying to overly push the term rake stepping, which we coined and is on Urban Dictionary with our names on it.
Yeah.
But all of these media companies constantly doing shit like this is the ultimate form of fucking rake stepping, because they're like, why aren't people seeing our movies? Why aren't people finding these albums? Why aren't people finding out about this TV show? And they're just slamming their foot down and getting punched right in the face with a block of wood every single time they do some stupid shit
all this shit that they're trying to throw people in federal prison for has to have a less than negligible effect on their bottom line.
I would say when you're speaking about Twitch streaming, YouTube videos, all that stuff, there is a net benefit for this.
Yeah.
What I can agree with them on is if someone is sitting there burning a bunch of Blu-rays from a pirated thing and selling them or something like that, obviously that person's breaking the law. But when we talk about, the new Spider-Man movie and want to use referential fucking trailer content to promote their movie because we're interested in it and maybe the audience is, and they're like, nah, you're going to fucking jail for that. What are you doing, you dumb, out of touch, elderly fucking morons who get paid way too much money to ruin the companies that they're currently sitting on the boards of?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck off. We worked for one of you and it's dumb. So hopefully that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, it
could happen. Hope you hate B-roll, because we're never using it again.
Yeah, I like how we started this with the outlandish idea that a Galactic Federation is currently collaborating with the U.S. government, but it's here's something even more outlandish that's, might actually happen very soon.
Realistically, the aliens came here and they're like, you have to lock down this intellectual property shit. Our fucking planet, Zorbies, the whole society collapsed because someone was stealing DVDs.
Yeah.
So look, hopefully it doesn't happen. But in other news about the government and things that they're trying to stop, last week, yet another TikTok deadline came and went without the social media app being shut down.
They can't keep getting away with it.
These damn videos. December 4th was supposed to be TikTok's last chance to sell its U.S. assets. But like the multiple previous deadlines, that didn't happen. And it seems like the government doesn't even care. Donald Trump certainly has forgotten about this. Entirely.
What's the point?
They're not enforcing the deadline. They're basically like the sheriffs in California trying to enforce any of the lockdown laws.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. And reportedly, the whole thing is still in negotiations behind the scenes between the U.S. and Chinese governments. But this is all a far cry from when the president was saying TikTok had until September 15th to sell or get the fuck off your phone.
Yeah, and meanwhile, of course, TikTok themselves, they're suing the U.S. government on the grounds that the executive order that started all this was illegal. Back in September, a judge issued a preliminary injunction allowing downloads of the TikTok app to continue when they were supposed to stop. Then in October, a judge granted a preliminary injunction stopping the government from making transactions with TikTok illegal. And now this week, another federal judge has issued another preliminary injunction, again stopping any kind of TikTok shutdown from happening on the grounds that the executive order likely exceeded the limitations of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act that was used to justify it in the first place. So, yeah, the whole TikTok versus America thing, so far worked out very much in TikTok's favor.
TikTok undefeated.
Undefeated.
Wow.
The U.S. government just keeps getting L's.
Yeah. Well, it's not really high on their priority list anymore, is it?
No.
He lost, and there's no coming back.
I remember 4 months ago when TikTok was just a imminent threat to U.S. national security.
Yeah. And now I can't get that, oh no, 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 no song out of my head.
So yeah, you actually use TikTok. I don't know what
I
you're talking about.
hadn't had internet for 3 weeks, and I needed something, damn it. And, it is soothing to watch people patch drywall.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah. The Chinese, they're like, this guy, he's obviously punching a bunch of holes in his walls. Yeah. That's all.
Don't ask how the holes got there.
All my feet is drywall patching and power washing. Soothing. Anyways, before we get into more news, it's time for a sponsor break. Now, this episode, it's sponsored by Stitch Fix. Look how good he looks. As the days get longer and the weather gets colder, it might be time to take a look at your winter wardrobe. If you want to make a change this season and really start dressing, Stitch Fix can help you choose new pieces that you will love. Stitch Fix offers clothing hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique size, style, and budget, and every piece is chosen for your fit and your life, and it's the easy solution to finding what makes you look and feel your best. Try on pieces at home before you buy them, keep your favorites, and just send back the rest.
Stitch Fix has free shipping, easy returns and exchanges, and a prepaid return envelope is included in your box. There's no subscription required. Try Stitch Fix once or set up automatic deliveries. You'll pay just a $20 styling fee for each box, which gets credited towards pieces you keep. And there are no hidden fees ever. Stitch Fix has styles and clothing to fit any occasion for women, men, and kids. They ship all over the US and to the UK as well. Get started today at stitchfix.com/newsday and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That is stitchfix.com/newsday for 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. stitchfix.com/newsday.
This episode is also sponsored by ExpressVPN. It's December, so you probably got a big list of Christmas movie essentials that you plan on watching this month to get into the spirit of things. But what if you go on Netflix and discover your favorite Christmas movie? It isn't available.
Oh.
Get ready to get your mind blown. You can use ExpressVPN to watch the Netflix library from anywhere in the world. Elf, it might not be on American Netflix, but it's on German Netflix, and it's probably uncensored. All you gotta do is open up ExpressVPN and hit one button to change your location. You refresh Netflix, boom, that's it. Same goes for Gremlins on French Netflix, Die Hard on South Korean Netflix, and many, many more.
Yeah, you see, ExpressVPN lets you control where you want sites to think you're located. You're doing a little trickery. You can choose from around 100 countries, so just imagine all the Netflix libraries you can explore. And of course, it's not just Netflix. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service. Disney+, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, you name it. There are hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason we use ExpressVPN to watch movies and shows is because it's ridiculously fast. There's never any buffering, and you can always stream in HD.
ExpressVPN works with all your devices too, including phones, tablets, media consoles, and smart TVs. So you can use it to watch whatever you want on the go or on the big screen. And if you visit our special link right now, expressvpn.com/newsday, you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Support the show, watch what you want, don't let Thom Tillis tell you what to do, and get your holiday movie fix at expressvpn.com/newsday.
All right, back to the news now. Let's check in on COVID-19.
That old thing?
So, hey, looks like we finally did it, folks. On Wednesday, more Americans died of COVID-19 than the number of Americans who died on September 11th, 2001.
And the aliens did nothing to stop it.
Yeah, a bit suspicious. But yeah, that's fucking horrifying.
Yes.
This was a new record that will almost certainly be broken again and again soon, just based on the trajectory of the line.
Yeah.
And while the deaths hover around 3,000 per day, new cases continue to skyrocket with around 209,000 new COVID cases each day, which is around 6 times as many daily cases as there were back in April.
That's bad.
That's really, really bad.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty bad situation, but let's hear what the residents of Rapid City, South Dakota, where my aunt lives, let's see what they think.
You might be listening to academics.
I will not comply. I will not go against this. And they've even had children in China that were required to wear masks, and they actually died.
Fauci and the CDC and the WHO, those guys,
How much longer do you think you can trample over people's lives, on people's dignity?
God created a nose, mouth, and chin to use daily.
This is South Dakota, where under God, the people rule.
Got to share with you guys is that God did not put his breath inside of you to be a disease-spreading monster.
We can go to the AI path and be put into the mainframe, or we can be free people, human, I'm not leaving the country. I'll live in a hole. I'm not alone either.
I bought a body shop on 1 acre in Black Hawk. I bought a brand new truck here from the Toyota dealership. I also bought a new trailer. There is a rock down the street. I think you may have heard of it. It's called Mount Rushmore, and it stands for freedom. Thank you.
Fear, fear, and fear. This thing that you're putting around here, newsflash, we're all going to die one day.
Yeah, seems like we might be screwed. Meanwhile, down in Florida, where my parents live, what is going on? How did I escape? Remember that woman who claimed back in May to have been fired by the state of Florida for refusing to manipulate data on the state's COVID tracker website to make the pandemic not seem so bad? Rebekah Jones pretty much built Florida's COVID-19 portal herself from the ground up, but was fired from her job at the Florida Department of Health after she claims she refused to manually change data to support the state's plan to reopen.
So after losing her job, though, Jones created the COVID Monitor, an independent website compiling vast amounts of COVID-19 data from across the country. And then this week, Florida State Police came to her house, pointed guns at her and her kids, and took all of her devices. So on its surface, this looks like the state of Florida using some Gestapo tactics to intimidate and punish one of its most vocal critics. And that's the narrative that Jones herself is going with.
Yeah, but officially, the raid on Rebekah Jones's house was part of an investigation into a recent hack of the state's internal notification system, which someone used to text 1,700 state employees on the emergency response team the message, quote, "It's time to speak up before another 17,000 people are dead. You know this is wrong. You don't have to be a part of this. Be a hero, speak out before it's too late." Now, Jones denies doing so or ever even having access to the system. And honestly, even if she did do it, good for her. But that would be a crime.
Yeah, a cool crime.
Yeah.
But still a crime. Except, turns out the state of Florida's internal notification system uses just one login and password for every employee who officially has access to it. And also, that login info was apparently on a publicly accessible PDF on the Florida Department of Health's website.
Yep.
So literally anyone who knew where to look could have used this thing. Also, that login info hadn't apparently changed since Jones was fired back in May. So great cybersecurity happening down in Florida.
I saw some discussion of this online where it's just like, the state of Florida might also be fucked because the people who license the software aren't going to be very happy that they bought one single user login.
Shit.
It's like having a media company and having 50 people using the same Creative Cloud thing.
I didn't even think of that.
Hey, edit offline.
Yeah.
So that might be a problem because they kind of admitted that they didn't buy extra licenses for access.
That can really cost you. That can be really bad.
Where's Thom Tillis on this?
Yeah.
This is intellectual
piracy.
property.
So the search warrant said that the IP address associated with the hacked message or whatever was traced to Jones's house in some way. They weren't that specific about it. I think they mean like IP address.
Hey, Rebekah, expressvpn.com/newsday.
Which, if that's true, that doesn't look good for her. So I don't know. Either she's being framed for this, which seems like it would not be hard considering how insecure the whole messaging system is, or she actually did it, which would be illegal, but also a cool crime that I fully support.
Much cooler than when the entire state of Hawaii thought they were going to be nuked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Way cooler.
Yes. The big worry here, though, is that according to Rebekah Jones, the devices that were seized contain all sorts of communication that she's had with current state employees who have basically been leaking information to her. So this could lead to a big purge of state health employees who are similarly frustrated with Florida's handling of COVID-19, which is pretty terrifying because those people would then presumably be replaced by yes men. And we already saw how that would go last month when Governor Ron DeSantis hired a conspiracy COVID-19 denying conspiracy theorist blogger as a data analyst.
Yeah.
It's not going well in Florida, but if you talk to my dad, I know a lot of people and I don't know anyone that's died of it. Object permanence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of conspiracy theories, let's end things on a lighter note today. So apparently in the conspiracy community, the people who are especially terrified of 5G signals, a lot of those people have started trying to protect their home Wi-Fi routers from the evil effects of 5G by buying what are called router shields or router guards, which supposedly block electromagnetic fields and 5G. They look like wire cages, and specifically in the context of electromagnetic fields, they're called Faraday cages.
Yeah, and Faraday cages, they are a real thing. There's one on the door of your microwave oven, preventing you from getting irradiated but anytime you heat up a Hot Pocket.
Yeah.
It's just that putting a Faraday cage around your router, it's a great way to ensure that your home Wi-Fi signal, it really sucks. Because yeah, it's just going to mess with your Wi-Fi like it messes with any electromagnetic signal. Also, despite the fact that Wi-Fi routers usually come with a 2.4 gigahertz signal and a 5G signal, the G stands for gigahertz. And that 5G from your router, it's not at all the same as the 5G used for mobile devices. You're getting conned.
Yeah.
You dummies.
Anyway, as you might guess, people who bought Faraday cages for their routers aren't happy with the results. And Twitter user Ansgar Odinson posted screenshots of a couple of these Amazon reviews.
1 out of 5 stars. Kills signal strength from the router. Devices that were previously located about 30 to 40 feet from the router that used to have full signal strength don't even connect to it anymore. I had to remove the cage from the router, and now the return window has closed, so I'm stuck with this useless $100 metal cage now. We'll try and sell it on Craigslist. Oh, wow. This worked as intended.
Yeah. Here's another one. 1 out of 5 stars. Signal impacted. Wi-Fi signal is reduced significantly.
Yeah, sir, this is the Faraday cage manufacturer. That is actually working. It proves that it works.
Yeah, it's actually working great. You should change your review to 5 stars.
Yes. 1 out of 5 stars. Decreases Wi-Fi signal. The box does work at keeping radiation in, but also Wi-Fi will not work unless you're in the same room as a router. It decreases the signal by 90%. We really wanted to like it, but it was impossible to use our phones in any other room of the house. Also, the seller keeps the shipping fee $25, so that was annoying.
Yeah. So talk to your parents and grandparents if they're putting they're complaining about their Wi-Fi signal to you. Maybe ask if they've recently installed a mesh cage-like box around their Wi-Fi router.
And then remove it. Tell them that you fixed it.
Yeah.
They'll never look at it again.
Mm-hmm. Or make...
He's a genius, that boy.
Make your own box that's just like actual, just like cloth mesh. But tell them it's like silver anodized or some shit.
Knit it like the doily things that go over like the display things that grandmas make.
This'll work.
This is what you need to put over it. Yeah, it keeps it warm.
I read it on 8chan. That's where all the truth comes from.
Yeah. On the Q forums, they said you should do this.
Yeah.
Q for quilting.
Anyways, that's it for this week's episode of Tech News Day. You can watch our most recent episodes over here. And we'll see you again soon for an episode of News Dump that, hey, will have more exciting bullshit from this past couple days.
Check your phone messages. You might be in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Bye.